Sri Dr. Dr. Vinay Sahasrabuddhe.
Thank you, Chairman, sir. I am raising this issue about the need for moving towards a self-reliant consulting ecosystem. Sir, as we know, on January 25 this year, President Joe Biden signed an executive order which mandated that wherever possible, federal agencies should maximize the use of goods, products, and materials produced in and, more importantly, services offered in the United States. I don't know whether the American president has taken a cue from the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan in which we are currently engaged. But the House is aware that consulting has become a big industry and several foreign companies are here and several in other developing countries as well. Tech-driven consultancies, data-driven consultancies. I need not take the name of various consulting agencies, but they are essentially foreign agencies. According to the Association of ASSOCHAM, the major trade and industry association, the turnover during 2020 is estimated to be 27,000 crore, wherein most of the foreign originated consulting agencies are grabbing the business. 80% of the business schools products are joining consultancy firms. And in India today, for example, the public policy has become a very attractive domain, a very lucrative domain, and all talented students basically go for that. What I am suggesting here, sir, is that the government should adopt a policy wherein Indian consultancy firms are given more preference against the foreign firms, because as it happens, the reason why local consulting firms lose out to global giants is because of the eligibility qualification criteria in public procurement tenders. उसमें सर ऐसी शर्तें लगा देते हैं कि इतना टर्नओवर होना चाहिए, इतना अनुभव होना चाहिए, वो भारतीय फर्म्स के पास होना मुश्किल होता है, और इसलिए मेरा विनम्र निवेदन है कि इसमें भारतीय कंसल्टेंसी फर्म्स को अधिक प्राधान्य मिले, इसलिए नियम कानून में परिवर्तन.
Thank you. I have 10 submissions. Keep that in mind. 2 minutes, please. Sri N.R. Edango.
For this opportunity. Honorable Chairman, with your permission, I raise this important issue. In Tamil Nadu, the central government has funded M.Tech Biotechnology, MSc Medical Biotechnology, and MSc Agriculture Biotechnology courses. The prospectus of those courses say that the participating institutions are required to follow the reservation as applicable to them. In Tamil Nadu, sir, 69% reservation policy is being adopted. But now the central government insists only on 50% reservation. This makes the state government to increase the seats, number of seats, and bear the expenditure. This is very unjustified, sir. I request the government through this August House to follow 69% reservation in these courses and in all the following courses wherever the state-specific reservation is ensured.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sri Associate, please send the names. Sri A. Muhammad Jan. Sri A. Muhammad Jan. Lok Sabha, please.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah.
Muhammad Jan ji.
Yeah, welcome.
Welcome.
I thank you very much, our Honorable Chairman, sir, for giving the opportunity to me. Sir, from Tamil Nadu, every year, about 4,000 Hajj pilgrims used to perform their Hajj by going to Mecca and Medina from Chennai airport. This year, the government has announced to board all the pilgrims from Cochin instead of Chennai airport. Cochin is about 700 to 800 kilometers away from Chennai airport, and it is very tedious for Hajjis to board from Cochin. Hajjis has to come to Chennai. They have to stay there for 4 to 5 days to get the relevant documents from the Tamil Nadu State Hajj Committee, and they will deposit their goods and all, luggage, and they will get all the documents, and they have to stay for 4 or 5 days in Chennai, and then from there they have to go to Cochin. It is very, very practically difficult. In this matter, our Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Thiru Edappadi K. Palaniswamy, also has written a letter to our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji regarding this matter and requested to allow the pilgrims to board from Chennai airport instead of Cochin airport. I request our Honorable Prime Minister to consider the request of our Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu and do the needful. Thank you, sir.
Right. It's a very genuine problem. Sri Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi and Jaishankar ji, they have to attend to this. Tawarchand ji, please take note, reader, take note of this suggestion and then pass it on to them.
Thank you, thank you.
Sri Subhash Chandra Bose, Pili Subhash Chandra Bose ji, Lok Sabha.
I am from Lok Sabha, sir.
Right.
Good morning, sir. Good morning to you and to my colleague, honorable members, sir. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. The subject, release of pending amounts to the AP State Civil Supplies Corporation. Sir, the state government of Andhra Pradesh is duty bound for the procurement of paddy from the farmers.
Mike,
timely
please.
payment.
Technical people see.
And the timely payment. The State Civil Supplies Corporation is mandated to procure at MSP without any reservation. It is further to bring it to light that this extensive and timely procurement by the AP Civil Supplies Corporation has drained its resources. It is finding an increasingly difficult to mobilize the resources for MSP operations, as it has already exhausted all options available for borrowing from financial institutions. An amount of 4,282 crores to the AP Civil Supplies Corporation is due from the Government of India. Out of this amount, pending 1,599 crores pertain to 10% withheld amounts of rice subsidy from 2013-14 to 2016-17, and for which all COG admitted financial statements have been submitted. Rupees 1,723 crores pertains to Prime Minister Garibi Kalyan Anna Yojana, and the balance of 960 crores pertain to advance claims for third quarter of financial year 2021. I would therefore urge the Food and Public Distribution Minister, Sri Piyush Goyal ji, to intervene in the matter and issue suitable instructions for the pending amounts to be released in the best interest of the farmers of Andhra Pradesh. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Subhash Chandra Bose ji. Sri Shakti Singh Govind.
माननीय सभापति महोदय जी, गुजरात का जो भी समुद्र तट है वो पाकिस्तान से लगा हुआ है और गुजरात के मछुआरों को उनकी फिशिंग बोट्स के साथ पाकिस्तान मरीन बार बार उठा के ले जाती है। हाल में ही अभी की बात करें तो 1100 फिशिंग बोट और 400 मछुआरे पाकिस्तान की कराची जेल में कैद है। मैं अनुरोध आपके ज़रिए सरकार को करना चाहता हूं कि इनको जल्द से जल्द वापस लाने की और बोट्स को भी वापस लाने की सरकार उसके लिए कदम उठाएं। और माननीय सभापति महोदय जी, मैं एक जो 2007 से 2010 में वेसल ट्रैकिंग सिस्टम के लिए जो पैसे लगे थे, सीएजी ने कहा कि उसमें इरेगुलरिटीज़ हुई है। जो हमारे समुद्र तट की रक्षा के लिए जो बोट्स दी गई थी सिक्योरिटी के लिए, वो नहीं चल रही है। वो भी सीएजी की कमेंट्स थी। तो मैं उम्मीद रखता हूं कि सरकार इन चीज़ों को गंभीरता से ले। धन्यवाद सर।
Thank you, Sri K.R. Vanalavena. Gallery 4. 3.
Inform the honorable members of this House that the Indo-Myanmar Border Trade Center at Jokotar village in my constituency has been closed since April 2020 till today due to coronavirus pandemic. During this period, some businessmen constructed unauthorized roads at about 7 different places across the Myanmar and India border. So many foreign goods enter our country illegally through these artificial roads without paying any GST to the government. I am afraid of that all those temporary roads may turn into the permanent smuggling road if we do not take the necessary action. So, Honorable Chairman, sir, I kindly request the Union government to take all the necessary steps to reopen this border trade as soon as possible to avoid the unnecessary circumstances which could happen in future. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Vanalavena ji. What a beautiful name, Vanalavena. Sri Prasanna Acharya ji.
Thank you, sir. Sir, children are the future of any nation, sir, and we must bring all our children in a very healthy atmosphere with every necessities of life, sir. But unfortunately, sir, in our country, there are millions of orphans with unknown parentage, sir. They are abandoned by unknown parents, and they are destitutes who are seen loitering on the street, collecting waste papers, plastic, materials, scrap from the dumping pit for their subsistence. They are vulnerable to abuses and exploitation by antisocials. And according to a UNICEF statistics, sir, India has estimated 31 million orphan children between the age of 1 and 17 years, sir. Sir, to prove the identity of any Indian citizen, there are many yardsticks like the PAN card, Aadhaar card, voter card, etc., sir. To get admission in a school, one need birth certificate, caste certificate, parental identification, and so many things, sir. To qualify for government schemes, sir, also we need ration card, income certificate, and for residential certificate, one need address proof. But where from and how an orphan can get all these, sir? Every deserted orphan asks to himself with broken heart, who are my parents? What is my identity? What is my date of birth? What is my religion? What is my caste? And what is my address? Whom do I belong? Every orphan is asking, sir. Neither the government nor the society has an answer to this, sir. Therefore, sir, I request the government to frame a special law for the innumerable orphan destitute of the country to save them from abuse and exploitation, provide them shelter, education, medical care,
Not there.
and, sir, proper livelihood. A separate welfare fund for homeless orphans and street children should be
Right.
created, sir. And to supervise all such things, an orphan and street children welfare authority should be constituted immediately.
Thank
sir.
you, Prasanna ji. Anil Beloni, Associates, and Anil Beloni. Where is Anil Beloni? Lok Sabha, please.
धन्यवाद सभापति महोदय। 7 फरवरी को उत्तराखंड के चमोली जिले में केदारनाथ त्रासदी की तरह की भयावह आपदा आई है, जिसके लिए राहत कार्य अभी भी जारी है। अनेक लोग लापता हैं, अनेक लोग हताहत भी हुए हैं। स्थानीय पावर प्रोजेक्टों को भारी नुकसान हुआ है। ग्रामीणों के खेत, संपर्क मार्ग।
आपको बोलना है need for mechanism to study glaciers.
जी,
Please.
जी,
Otherwise, you will be losing time.
जी ग्रामीणों के खेत, संपर्क मार्ग, पुल और सामुदायिक स्थलों का नामो निशान मिट गया है। पूरा उत्तराखंड आज माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का आभारी है कि उन्होंने तत्काल घटना का संज्ञान लिया और समूचे आपदा प्रबंधन तंत्र को सक्रिय किया। उत्तराखंड के लोग मान्यवर कभी भूल नहीं सकते हैं कि जब केदारनाथ की आपदा आई थी।
Please, Anil Beloni ji, for need for mechanism to study glaciers to manage and prevent disaster. This is not a debate.
महोदय, हाल के वर्षों में
ना you will lose time and then you will not lose your point.
महोदय, हाल के वर्षों में उत्तराखंड में ग्लेशियर टूटने, बादल फटने और भारी भूस्खलन की घटनाओं में वृद्धि हुई है। उत्तराखंड भूकंप संभावित क्षेत्र भी है। महोदय, मैं आपके माध्यम से भारत सरकार और विशेषकर पृथ्वी विज्ञान विभाग से अनुरोध करना चाहूँगा कि आपदा की इन परिस्थितियों पर विस्तृत अध्ययन किया जाए, ताकि हिमालय और ग्लेशियरों के और नदियों के स्वभाव पर अध्ययन किया जा सके और राज्य के लिए एक आपदा तंत्र विकसित किया जा सके।
ठीक।
इससे उत्तराखंड ही नहीं, देश और दुनिया को भी लाभ होगा। धन्यवाद।
Right, Anil ji, धन्यवाद. Need for mechanism, that is the stress. Sri Mallikarjun Kharge ji. आप बैठ के भी बोल सकते, खड़े होकर भी बोल सकते, जैसा आप चाहें।
ठीक है सर, जरा आदत खड़े होने की ज़्यादा है, इसलिए
ठीक है,
माफ़ी चाहता हूँ।
नहीं,
Sir,
कोई प्रॉब्लम
there is a Center for Excellence in Microwave, Wireless and Photonics being established in Karnataka, for which the state government has allocated 10 acres of land on lease for 33 years in Bangalore University campus. However, since this center is a part of Central University Gulbarga, it would be better to establish a Central University Karnataka Gulbarga. The Center for Excellence will develop expertise in defense, space, aviation, communication, and energy sectors. It would help students of various departments, including physics, mathematics, electronics, and communications engineering, computer science, etc. Both students and faculty members would have better access to the best faculty, industry experts, research facilities, and infrastructure. Sir, the Central University Gulbarga has ample open space, nearly 850 acres, which is given free to the Central University within its campus to house the Center for Excellence. There is already an operational airport connecting Gulbarga to major cities like New Delhi, Bangalore, etc., as well as trains and road connectivity. The creation of this establishment in Hyderabad, Karnataka region, who can get just a good access to quality research infrastructure as their counterparts in Bangalore or in other cities or the other big cities. This would help in promoting
Right.
innovation and further research and development in the field of communications.
Okay, Kargeji.
Sir, one more point is
The point is, after 3 minutes, that will not go on record. That's my problem.
just 2 minutes. 1 minute. Half minute. Sir, one more point is the post of Vice Chancellor in the university has been lying vacant for nearly 10 months. This is a very important post.
Right.
And being vacant is causing a major problem in the several administrative decisions, many of which are still pending.
Thank you, Mallikarjun Kharge. Right, please.
Vice Chancellor
Jyotiraditya Scindia, both are different subjects, sir. Ministers are also different. Jyotiraditya.
धन्यवाद सभापति महोदय। सभापति महोदय, कोरोना महासंकट के दौरान स्कूल बंद होने से देश के लगभग सभी राज्यों में बेटियों की पढ़ाई और उनके उज्जवल भविष्य पर प्रश्न चिन्ह लग चुका है और उससे बड़ी समस्या है कि स्कूल के सेफ्टी नेट से वंचित होने के कारण बेटियों के बाल विवाह की संख्या बढ़ती जा रही है। केंद्र महिला बाल विकास मंत्रालय के द्वारा संचालित चाइल्ड लाइन हेल्पलाइन 1098 में एक RTI लगाई गई थी और अप्रैल से अक्टूबर 2020 के बीच बाल विवाह से जुड़े हुए 18,324 डिस्ट्रेस कॉल्स आई थी। इसी के साथ महाराष्ट्र और तेलंगाना में 200 से अधिक बाल विवाह के प्रकरण सामने आए हैं, कर्नाटक में 188 और ऐसे ही हर राज्य के लिए ये बड़ी मुसीबत है। मुझे खुशी है कि इनमें से कई राज्यों में विवाह समय पर हस्तक्षेप से रोक दिए गए हैं। मेरा अनुरोध है महिला और बाल विकास मंत्रालय से कि बाल विवाह पर नेशनल डेटा प्राप्त करने के लिए राज्य सरकारों को तत्काल राज्यव्यापी मूल्यांकन करने के निर्देश जारी किए जाएं। हमारे कानून और नियम का क्रियान्वयन सख्ती से पालन किया जाए और बाल वधुओं को उचित काउंसलिंग के लिए डिस्ट्रिक्ट चाइल्ड वेलफेयर कमेटी को सक्रिय किया जाए। आंगनवाड़ी कर्मियों को NGOs के साथ मिलकर मिशन मोड पर ही बाल वधु और उनके परिवार तक पहुंचाया जाए ताकि इन बेटियों को स्कूल वापसी का सहयोग हम लोग दे पाएं। और इसी के साथ स्कूल ड्रॉप आउट को रोकने के लिए एक ब्लूप्रिंट बनाया जाए और बाल विवाह संबंधी जागरूकता के प्रयासों को स्केल अप किया जाए।
धन्यवाद ज्योतिराज जी। मित्रों, I have received 35 requests, so try to adjust the time, otherwise it will be difficult. We have around 9